Hi beautiful ones, welcome to this yoga flow for fertility today. My name's Bettina and I'm going to be taking you through a sequence just to help you to slow down, to try and release some of that tension and stress that comes up when you're trying to fall pregnant. You're starting to worry, is this ever going to happen for us? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my partner? Maybe we're never going to have kids. Start letting go of some of all that heaviness and weight and stressful energy that you've probably got in your system that's really not helping you fall pregnant, and also to open up through the pelvic area to really help all these organs work at their best. So getting that blood pumping and flowing beautifully to that area, and then also letting some of those fears go. So sometimes the reason we're not falling pregnant and our body's not allowing us to fall pregnant is because we're actually quite afraid of what that change will bring, how it's going to change our life. So we're going to be working through all of that today, which is a lot. I do have some more resources coming out very soon, leading you through this process a lot slower, because we do teach this as a 6 weeks course. And I do think you need that time to really immerse yourself in it. But this will give you a little taste today, and it will be a beautiful flow that you can practice and use to support you on this journey as you are on your way to becoming a mother. All right, so let's get going. We're just going to start in a seated meditation. So get yourself comfortable. However you like to sit is fine. You may like to sit up on a block or a cushion. It makes the hips sometimes feel a little bit more comfortable. And we're just going to work with a breathing pattern where we breathe in and out through alternate nostrils. And the reason we do that is it starts to balance the energy in our body, and it's really calming and beautiful as well. But starts to balance the energies between the left and the right side. So we can get caught up in either the really masculine doing sort of energy, or get caught up in the really feminine flowing, sort of free flowing creative energy as well. And this helps to balance both sides of the body and leaves us feeling a lot more centered. So let's start with that. Now we're just going to bring just one hand to the nose, and we're just going to block the left nostril. And then inhale through the right. Block the right nostril and exhale through the left. Keep going through this pattern. Inhale. And exhale. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Stay here in reverse. Inhale through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale. And exhale. So repeat this for one more round while I'm talking. This is starting, if you're noticing, starting to feel quite airy and really sort of energetic in the body. And that's because it's all starting to come back into balance, and you'll find your energy increases. So come back to this sort of breath whenever you're feeling that stressful tension coming into the shoulders, maybe starting to worry if this journey is happening for you and if you're ever going to fall pregnant. Come back to that really balanced way of breathing. Just 3 breaths on one side, 3 breaths on the other. Take you 5 minutes. And it's a really nice way to just allow yourself to center and to let go of some of that stress really quickly. Let's come onto hands and knees and get into this yoga flow. So bring the hands under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We're just going to take some circles to the right, starting to move into this pelvis. So really just like a cat would, really, moving around, finding some space in the body, really getting the blood flowing to the lower parts of the body. So sometimes our problems when falling pregnant is we're not connected to the body anymore. In our modern life, we've really lost that mind-body connection, and starting to reconnect, we can identify problems ourselves, so we can start to notice where something hormonal might be coming on, if we're really in tune with our cycles and the energy that we feel as we move through these cycles. So not just the physical signs, but the energy as well. Come back to center. Engage the core slightly. Inhale, look up. Exhale out through the mouth, look back towards the thighs. Inhale, rise. So lift the tail, let the belly sink. Exhale out through the mouth. Once more, inhale. And exhale. Return the spine. Step that left foot forward and come into a kneeling lunge. So making a lot of space through this pelvic area and just leaning forward. So sometimes we can find a lot of tension in the hips, and you'll notice that leaning forward here, you're really opening up through that right hip. So as you breathe, see if you can send the energy down into that space. So send the breath into the pelvic bowl, really opening it up here. And then roll onto the outer blade of that front foot, opening it up further. And just sit opening through the chest as well. If it feels good, you could come down to the forearm. You could pick up the back leg if you want to make it a little bit stronger, or keep that back knee down. And then inhale, coming back up, walking that front foot in, reaching around towards the back. Maybe you can draw that back foot in and then open through the heart space as well. So opening the heart up to the possibilities. It really is a practice of heart and womb today. So that creative energy of the womb, but also the heart opening practice of making space for this baby in your life. Let's bring that back knee back. Take the knees nice and wide and sit back into your child's pose. So stretch the arms forward, forehead to the floor, gentle rocks from side to side. All right, so from your child's pose, inhale and come up. Let's step the right foot forward now. So just leaning into that kneeling lunge, making lots of space in this area. And breathing into it. Each time you inhale, imagine this area filling with energy. And as you exhale, imagine all that energy leaving. So any tension in this area, any pain, anything you're holding on to, any negative energy or emotions, let it go. Roll onto the outer blade of this right foot. Maybe come down to forearms if that feels good. You can even take a gentle rock from side to side if that feels good for you. And again, just breathing into this space. See if you can relax through the shoulders, through the neck and through the jaw as well. So often the tension is kept in the upper body. See if you can release through that. Inhale, bring the hands back up. Walk that foot slightly in. Inhale, reach around. If you can, reach towards that foot and then open up through the heart space. So push the hand into the foot and breathe here. Release the foot down. Inhale, bring the hand back up and step that foot back all the way back to child's pose, nice and wide through the knees. Forehead down, gentle rock from side to side. Let's inhale, come back up on the knees. Belly to the floor. Inhale, lift up. So this is baby cobra, working to stimulate through the uterus, through the ovaries, pressing gently and massaging those internal organs. So roll the shoulders back and down. Most of the weight is in the muscles of the back. And then inhale, tuck the toes. You can work through the knees if you need. Come all the way back to down dog. But take the legs really wide, bend into the knees and lift the tailbone high. And then exhale the heels back down. Taking little rocks from side to side. So really moving through the hips. Getting lots of energy flowing here. So sometimes there's a bit of static, stiff and old energy in the hips because we hold them so tight and the hamstrings get really tight. I'm sitting in chairs and doing lots of running and things like that, but not stretching out properly. So really loosen up in this area and allow the energy to flow again. Let's inhale, shift forward, take the knees down and just softly lower back down to the belly. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the chest. You can lift the feet off the floor if it feels good, but you don't have to. You can just work with the hands. And again, massaging into the organs of the belly. Inhale, lift a little bit higher. Breathe into that belly. And then exhale, rest it down. Forehead to floor, release the hands. Inhale, bring the hands by the shoulders, drawing all the way back. Come back to your child's pose, forehead down. Inhale, come back up. So peel back to your down dog. And then walk the hands all the way back. Find forward fold at the back of your mat. Gently sway from side to side. Inhale the hands over to the right side of the body. And then inhale them all the way over to the opposite side. So you notice my feet are nice and wide here. I'm still making space for the belly. So even though you're not pregnant yet, this is where we'll practice during our prenatal yoga. And it's just encouraging that mindset already that you want to make space here. So you're making space in your life and you're making space in your body for the home for this baby. And then from your forward fold, let's walk the hands back forward. Step the left foot forward, and this time we're coming up into a high lunge. So you can either use the hands to support or inhale and flow up. You'll notice my feet are nice and wide. So I've got lots of balance, again, lots of space through the hips, and really opening up through this area. Let's continue to open through the heart by inhaling the arms up, interlacing the fingers and really lifting up tall, maybe even looking towards the hands. And then inhale, bring them behind, interlace the fingers, open up through the chest. So really opening through the whole front of the body now. Exhale, release the hands down. Press into the palms as you walk the ankle across and then release the knee down. Stretch that back leg out. Now if your hips are really tight, this might be uncomfortable for you. Tuck the foot then into the groin. Supports a little bit. You could even put a cushion under this bottom so that's lifting you up higher. If it's okay, you can stretch that back leg out. And then inhale and sit tall. So you're really opening through the hips here, bringing nice fresh blood into the inner thigh, into the groin, and around this area, really opening it up. So just sit tall, breathing into this space. So any areas of tension, see if you can soften them. And then inhale, bring the hands back down. Lift back up, engage through the core and step the foot all the way back. And then inhale, walk the hands all the way back up. We're coming to our wide leg forward fold. So where you are, just take the legs a little bit wider. Inhale, lift through the heart, and then exhale, fold forward. So again, beautiful stretch through the legs, engaging through the inner thigh. Now you might just keep the hands underneath the chest, pressing the chest towards the floor if that's all your hamstrings can allow today, or you can walk the head back down underneath and just let the torso gently hang, whatever works for you. Just keep pressing the feet into the floor, keep pressing the thighs towards the back of the room. Keep the breath flowing. Inhale, rise the chest, step those feet back in, and then walk the hands forward. Inhale, this time right foot steps forward. Use the thigh or flow on up. Inhale. Interlace the hands, reach up tall, maybe even looking towards them. So whole front of the body opens. Inhale, open it further, interlace behind, draw the shoulder blades down. And breathe. Never forget to breathe. Exhale, release the hands down. Weight comes into the palms as you step that front foot across. Step the leg back. Inhale, rise. Maybe support with a cushion or pillow, whatever you've got around. Maybe tuck the foot in if it's too much opening. Maybe float forward if it feels good. If it feels good to soften down, you can hang out here for a couple of minutes. And just really breathe into this space. Set your intention. Focus on what it is you're trying to attract into your life and just breathe into this space in the womb. In our creative center, bring energy and awareness here, but also trust that it can and will provide what it is we're trying to create. And then inhale. Tuck those back toes, lifting back up. Inhale, lift the right leg up behind you, bend the knee, open out through the hip. Inhale, draw the knee into the chest, pass it underneath the body and open up in your fallen triangle. If this is too much, the bottom knee can come down. So stretch it out, press into the floor, exhale, lower it down. Inhale it back up, bend and open once more. Just taking small circles with the right knee now. So circling through that hip, exhale, lower the leg down. Inhale, left side rises, open through the hip. Knee comes forward, pass it underneath the body, rising up, inhale. Breathe, modify if you need. Exhale, lower the hand, inhale, back up. Open it up, and then take small circles here. Keep the breath flowing. And then lower it down. Inhale. Come to have a seat. Bring the soles of the feet together, let the knees fall down. Inhale, lift through the heart, and then exhale, fold forward. So again, focusing on this area, making a lot of space through the hips, through the groin, bringing blood and energy to this area. Inhale, rise up. Let's take a gentle twist. One hand comes behind. So twisting can help purify and start to move any of that stale, stagnant energy out. Releasing back to the front, opposite side. So it can be a good thing to do once you've finished your period. Practicing some gentle twists to really make sure the body's really detoxed and getting rid of some of that old energy from the past month. Take the feet out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. So if this is too much opening for you, bring some cushions underneath the chest and just hang out here. Again, lots of space. Inhale, lift through the chest. Let's come to lie down. Bring the knees in. Bring the soles of the feet to the floor just so that you can touch the heels. And then inhale, lift the hips up. So you're really standing into the feet. If this is comfortable, you can also interlace the hands underneath the body. Roll onto the tops of the arms and really open out through that chest. And you'll notice there's a bit of pressure on this neck. Now what that's doing is pressing on the thyroid gently. I'll show you another option shortly, which is a little bit more intense. It's gently pressing on that thyroid to start stimulating the hormones that we want to be working naturally through the body. Keep drawing the knees in, pressing up. You can even work this pose with a number of pillows underneath the hips so that you're not actually doing the work of the legs. So the legs are building a lot of heat, but you can still get the benefit of the inversion without that heat by using some props. And then release and slowly come back down. Draw the knees in. And gently roll to come up. So we're going to work with shoulder stand, and I just want to show you against the wall so that I can show you a variation to coming into shoulder stand if you've never done it before. Shoulder stand can look really intimidating at first, but it's actually not. And I think many of us were probably doing it as children, and we'll find it to do once we know how to do it. So come to legs up the wall. And what this means is that your bottom is right up against the wall. And we do that by, just as I did, hip up the wall and roll. If you need to, you can wiggle a little bit closer. Now leave the heels exactly where they are and pivot the feet up so that the balls of the feet come to the floor. And then bring the hands onto the sacrum, work the elbows in as high as you can, and keep lifting the hips up. So this is shoulder stand with the support of the wall. And you'll notice there's a lot of pressure now on that thyroid. Keep the breath flowing. If it feels good, you could even interlace the fingers and walk right up, still pressing into those feet. You could lift one foot and then the other. So starting to get used to what it would feel like in full shoulder stand. If it feels good, release and lift the feet off. And keep the breath flowing. You could, if it's comfortable, work into plow pose, so releasing the legs over the head if it's not too much pressure. And if the feet come to the floor, you could interlace the hands and keep pressing down. And then to come back out, just bring the feet. Slowly bring the bottom down into chest and roll to the side. So in the same way, we can work that shoulder stand without the wall. We just simply lie on the back. And instead of using the wall to support, we press into the floor, lift the hips, and use the hands to support. Staying with the breath and coming down slowly. So after practicing your inversions for a couple of minutes, or as long as you can hold and keep the breath steady for, I'd like to encourage you to come down onto your mat in Shavasana, so just lying on the back, and find 5 to 10 minutes of a meditation. The number one thing that stops us falling pregnant is stress, and unfortunately it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a cycle that just feeds itself. As we start to worry that we're not going to fall pregnant, we get stressed, and it just keeps on going. So if you can find that release through a meditation, even if it doesn't feel like you're doing it right, the act of lying still and trying to watch the thoughts and calm down is really going to be beneficial. So 5-10 minutes a day is going to change not only your life, but probably change your journey to becoming pregnant as well. So find that 10 minutes. I suggest starting with a guided meditation. So I've got a number in my studio of free downloads on my site, or any of your favorite teachers for meditation. Pop your earphones in, tune the rest of the world out, and really just take that time to center in with what you are doing and how you feel. Finding our center and really being connected with the self is a really powerful way to allow ourselves to go into motherhood. And I think opening ourselves up with that space, so finding space in our life for 10 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of connection, is really opening up that space in our lives for the possibility of a child. And I really do believe we have to make space in our lives, in our bodies, to welcome a child. Good luck on your journey. I hope this has helped. Feel free to ask me any questions if you have them, and I look forward to hearing your exciting news. Namaste.